What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you are all having a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to talk to y'all about the WNBA 2022 Draft. It just took place, and I got to say, this was an exciting one. I saw a couple players drafted. I got excited for these teams, and I wanted to talk to y'all about them. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the teams that made selections. I'm not going to talk about all the picks. There are 12 picks each round. There's 3 rounds, 12 times 3, 36 for you math heads. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm just going to talk about 4 teams. So with that being said, let's get started, shall we? And these are my top teams in this year's draft. So not the top selected, just the top graded. So I'm going to give a shout out, number 4, to the DMV hometown team, Washington Mystics. They did their thing. Now, what did they really do, right? Who'd they get? Well, first we got to figure out what their needs were, okay? So the Washington Mystics, they need inside scoring and defending and a backup guard. They have Elena Deladon, and Elena Deladon is one of the biggest stars in the WNBA. Now she's had some back issues. She's had to carry the team a little bit too much for my liking. Last year, she did have a little bit of relief. She was still injured, so I'm expecting her to come back a little bit better this season. But they need some help on the interior, and she's a big woman. We call centers and forwards big men in the NBA, so we can call them big women, right? She's about 6 foot and some change, 6'3", and she plays like a guard. So that's kind of tough to see. You don't see that too often. That's why I say we need inside scoring and defending. And with that, they ended up drafting Shakira Austin. Like, number 3 pick, bro. That's like, she fits this team phenomenally. She's an inside threat. She's on the offense and the defense. Pretty good. That's what they need. Now, I will say that she might need to be a little bit more physical for the WNBA, but that comes with time. Strengthen up. She'll be fine. The main thing is she fits in with Elena Deladon. Again, she can handle the interior, and I think she can get a little bit of playmaking in there. I'm doing a little foreshadowing, but I think she can get a little playmaking in there. But she fits that need. Now, I also mentioned they need a backup guard, and that's where Kristen Williams comes into play, because Kristen Williams is a guard out of UConn. She was a little inconsistent at UConn, I will say, but she can get you a bucket when you need it. Let's not forget, Paige and Azzi were both out of the lineup for UConn. Kristen had to take on some of that slack, so she can do her thing. She can score, and I think coming off the bench will help her out, because until she gets that consistency down, well, like I said earlier, the Mystics already have a guard or guards in place, so it's not a pressing matter for her to contribute immediately as a starter, but she can get to that point. So I like what the Mystics did this year in the draft. It should work out. I'm expecting a turnaround of like 2 to 3 years. You'll see something produced from these 2 players. So that being said, shout out to the Mystics. But let's go on to the 3rd team, though. I gave a shout out to the hometown team, but my team, my personal favorite team, Los Angeles Sparks. We did our thing in the draft as well. And I gotta say, some of our needs were, well, we need versatile forwards, right? Like we gotta help the depth out with that, because we have a bevy of guards. It's ridiculous. And then we also need some shooting. Every team needs it, but we specifically need it, okay? We have a lot of good athletes. We just brought in Liz Cambage. She can shoot the ball, but I want a sniper. Like, can we get like a Quigley, please? Like, can we get that? So let's take a look at who we drafted. We drafted Ray Burrell with the 9th pick. Now, Ray Burrell is a versatile forward who can shoot. So she checks both of the needs that we had. All right, she's out of Tennessee, our 1st round pick. That sounds familiar, don't it? Candace Parker. Hey, I'm not saying she has the same potential as Candace Parker. I'm just saying good things happened the last time we drafted a forward out of Tennessee in the 1st round. So hopefully we get the same thing. And I expect her to actually contribute. Again, we're deep, we're loaded. Like, we should make the playoffs this year. The Sparks mean. I think Ray can contribute coming off the bench, gaining some valuable experience, at least at bare minimum, making the team. But that's not all she's not all we drafted. We also drafted Kiana Smith. Now, Kiana Smith is a big guard. She's crafty. She can score. But more importantly, she can shoot. And that's what we need. Like I told you guys, we need shooters. And as a big guard, 6 foot, ooh, I love it. Talk to me. That's what we can do. That would be phenomenal. All of our guards are more so shorter. So she can carve a need, because she can also help out on the defensive end with a 6 foot frame. Guarding the smaller guards, her length would be helpful. We also drafted Olivia Nelson Adoda. Now, she's a forward out of UConn, 6'5", lanky, and she fits that versatile forward need that we have. I don't think she's going to be an offensive contributor, but on the defensive end, she can guard the bigs and the forwards, and that's pretty helpful because, again, she's lanky, she's mobile enough. I respect her game. She might not make the team. Again, we have a lot of forwards already, or we have forwards already and under contract. Maybe she makes the team, but again, we drafted a lot of forwards this year, so let's see how it shakes out. Now, the next one in the final draft pick, we have Amy Atwell, coming out of Hawaii. The only knock for her that I have and I want to see is, can she contribute the same against better competition? Now, we did see one game in the tournament, she did her thing. But outside of that, well, the competition's not really doing too hot, champ. So can she keep that consistent play going forward against better competition? If so, I like her because she's a big forward, or she's about 6 foot, so maybe she needs to play guard a little bit. I think she can have a better advantage, but she's a shooter. That's what we need. So again, shout out to the Sparks. We did our thing out there, and I at least expect to see 2 of these players, at least 2, on our team and hooping. Unfortunately, not everybody can make the squad, but at least 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if all 4 made the team. Now, I talked about my team enough. I'm sure y'all like, he's rambling about his team. So we're gonna go on to the second team and talk about, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know if I really want to do, like, I halfway want to switch it on the fly, but I'm gonna stick with what my order is. It's the Atlanta Dream. These ladies picked 2 good, really good players, all right? In Renee Howard with the first pick. All right, we're going to talk about Renee first because Renee Howard is 6 foot, coming out of Kentucky, and she can hoop her tail off. Like, it's ridiculous. Just the cachet and charisma she brings and receives. Like, bro, it's phenomenal. Her jump shooting ability, crazy. The drive, insane. Oh, and she can play a little bit of defense as well. So, I mean, when you have her at that size, at the guard position, I look at her and I say, oh, she might be star-worthy, bro. Like the Dream might have found their dream player in Renee Howard. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the Dream play. Shout out to the Dream. Because not only did they draft Renee Howard, we're not going to salivate over her too much, although it's understandable. They also got Naz Hillman. Now, Naz is a throwback back to the basket, pivot, up and under big that you just love to see. She's a hard worker, like a workhorse like none other. And she plays solid defense as well, standing about 6'2". I can see a small ball lineup. She fits well with Renee because not only can she set the picks and roll off for Renee, so that way Renee can either get a little mismatch or she can get an easier open shot. Get the rebound too, clean up. This is a tandem that the Dream can actually like salivate over. I think they've been dreaming about this for a while, and they hit the nail on the head with this draft. And I'm tempted to put them number 1. I really, truly am, bro. But the number 1 team that I have for the 2022 WNBA Draft, the Indiana Fever. They about to make it hot on the league in a couple seasons, especially these ladies pan out. They drafted 4 of the top 10 players in this year's draft. Again, four of the top 10 players in this year's draft. They had 7 of the 36 possible draft choices in this year's draft. So they owned 20% of this year's draft class. They're like OKC for the of the WNBA. They have so many draft picks, and they use them all wisely. Let's take a look and see exactly what happened, shall we? Now, they ended up drafting Nalissa Smith, quality mobile forward, and I gotta say, a gritty player at that. Not as mobile as Shakira, but I gotta say, bro, she's mobile enough, and she always hustles for the rebound. You know, like she has a motor like none other. I know I said that earlier, but she really does truly have a motor, and she has the talent to back it. Like, that's the difference between her and Nas. Nas doesn't have as much talent as Melissa does, and it's ridiculous. So the fact that the Fever got her, this is someone to build around. Quality player out of Baylor. Baylor has been producing some good players. You remember D.D. Richards recently just saying, watch out for Nalissa. Now they also drafted Emily Inkster. Now, Emily's a versatile forward who's also gritty. Are you catching the theme here? Because I'm saying they're mobile, like they're forwards who are gritty, right? Like that. If you're peeping, that's one of the needs that the Fever had, and they drafted 2 players. Again, 2 of the top 10 players I'm just listing off. Okay, Emily fits in well with Melissa. She can guard the guards or the forwards. I'm talking about 1 through 4 people. This is a steal for them. Good pairing, great pairing with Melissa, and she can also score a little bit. And if she improves her offense, it's going to be ridiculous. They also drafted Lexi Hull. Now, Lexi's not a forward. She's not as gritty, but she can shoot. And like I told you about my Sparks, everybody can use a sniper. And that's what Lexi Hull is. She can shoot that thing. She can also score a bigger guard. You always need that. You see, I'm biased when it comes to the big guards, right? Because they have that height to guard the smaller guards. So it's kind of, and they can also shoot over the smaller guards as well. So it's kind of helpful for them. I like Lexi Hull. Pairs up nicely with this draft class. Should be a good one. And then they also got Queen Egbo. Love the name. Very beautiful. Very powerful. That's what her game reminds me of. Like, bro, she is an enforcer. Like, the queen needs to make sure that she has all of her royal subjects in line and taken care of. That's what I think an enforcer is sometimes. And that's what she is exactly. A big woman out there getting you the rebounds. Oh, by the way, she actually played with Melissa on Baylor. Wonderful pairing. Like I said, the Fever did their thing out there, bro. She can also score. She doesn't have to be the star. She doesn't have to really have plays drawn up for. That's a wonderful thing for Queen. So shout out to them for drafting these 4 players. I wholeheartedly think that these 4 players are going to make the team. Now, they also drafted Destany Henderson, Amisha Williams-Holiday, and Allie Patberg. Hopefully, these women make the team as well, because they do have skill as well. But unfortunately, you cannot pick everybody for your team. So these are only 3 people I have in question. But even still, these players do fit the needs for the Fever, which were versatile forwards and gritty players. Mainly, of course, bring in some shooters. And then if you can find anybody to plug in, and maybe you get somebody who's better than some of the veterans you got, you can see what happens. But the Fever, one of the bottom tier teams for a long time, you might see them rise. But hey, please let me know your thoughts below. Did I mess up on anything? Did I miss a team? Did I forget anything? I want to hear everything. But please like, subscribe, comment, tell anybody about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. Hope you have a good one. Take care.
I did not know you pun intended. But look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets right here, kid.